order to reconvene tonight. I'll go ahead. Motion.
Motion Winslow, seconded by
I'll second.
Hepburn to reconvene into open session at what time? 7:07. All in favor?
Aye.
Student? Thank you. Action in closed session, well, actually open. Student expulsion hearing 02-2526, action for consideration of violation of Education Code 48900 B, 48900C, 48900A1, and in addition, 48915B1 states due to the nature of the violation, other means of correction are not feasible or have repeatedly failed to bring about proper conduct. I need a
Motion.
motion by Vince Litt,
Second.
seconded by Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. 5 ayes.
Did you say to expel all students? To expel the student?
To expel the student and from all schools and programs of the district. I'm sorry,
That's okay.
I got ahead of myself. Student expulsion hearing 12-2526, action for consideration of violation of Education Code 48900C to expel the student and suspend the expulsion order with conditions.
I move.
Second.
Motion by Hepburn, seconded by Vincelette. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A procedural issue. Recording of this meeting is being made and shall be kept for 30 days as public record. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Boschman, would you lead us, please?
Raise the right hand, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. I am here. Robert Vincelette is here. Sunny Hepburn is here. Adrian Redden is here. Justin Wright is here. And Miss Finch is here. I need a motion to approve the
So
agenda. Motion by Vincelette,
Second.
second by Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
I actually heard her.
I heard her.
Yes.
When do you want to do their presentation? Are they further down the line?
It's, yeah, it's after all the reports and communications.
RTA?
Just that we had a great parent conference night, and we're looking forward to meeting with the districts to start our new negotiations. We just submitted our sunshine proposal today.
CSEA?
All right, not a lot. Thank you, HR, for posting the ELOP positions. And thank you to the cabinet members district that worked with us on creating the job descriptions and the MOU for ELOP. Other than that, we're ready for negotiations. So I'm gonna let Alma look at her calendar and reach out to us and we'll talk some dates. Other than that, that's all I got.
Thank you. Robert, CDO.
Student.
Oh, I'm sorry, student board member. I got ahead of myself again.
For TMS, the Cadet Corps did an outstanding job at their field training, and then their marching band earned second place in the Chico Invitational, and the landscaping was beautiful, the new landscaping. For Rare Earth, Hope Squad put in a Halloween door decoration contest and the field day. The students enjoyed it a lot. And then RHS had, KCCSOS held a art contest, and there were 3 winners, and of the 3, two of them were Rosemont High students and our marching band also won first place in the Mojave Gold Rush Parade. That's all I have.
Thank you. Now, Robert.
It's been an exciting couple of weeks. Auditors were out here last time we had a board meeting. They have come and gone. There's some final pieces that will be, going to be submitted to them online now, so it's, they're not on site like they, typically are, so it's always fun. Construction continues. Congratulations to the high school and middle school bands for their placements in the competitions. It's always good to see the arts thriving. And that is it for me.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instruction, Dr. Mendez.
All right, good evening, everyone who joins us in person and also online. We have a couple of items that we've been working on, include, for example, the Oral Language Festival. We had a meeting with the coordinators for oral language earlier this week, and we shared out the timeline. I made some copies here to share out. So we have our local event, and we're gonna have our local one is scheduled for February 6th at West Park Elementary School. From there, we have the regional, currently is scheduled in the Veterans Building in Mojave, and that's on February 27th, 2026, and then April 25th is the county event, and that's at Stone Creek Junior High in Bakersfield. It's on Saturday. So we're currently, coordinators are currently recruiting and providing awareness on oral language. And I'm going to share the timeline there with the team here in terms of what that looks like for our oral language timeline for 25-26 school year. And then, as usual, once the county competitions are the ones that make it to the finals, they'll present to the board like May, June. We'll see the availability and what's on the agenda and have them present like they did in previous years. Okay. Then we also have been preparing for our ELOP intercession. We're offering 3 days, first 3 days of intercession, which is Monday, the Tuesday and the Wednesday of the fall/Thanksgiving break. So we're working with school sites to coordinate the logistics and the HR department for ELP intercession. Solution Tree Associates came by to work with school sites this week. So we had Solution Tree present, and then also we had our DAC meeting, District Advisory Council meeting this week as well. So that, and then we're continuing to work for our upcoming professional development at KCSOS in regards to our new getting more information on the new math curriculum, and then narrowing down the amount of publishers from 64 down to 3. We're going to pilot 3, and then we'll get feedback from teachers in terms of what are the components that they like, what are some of the pros, what are some of the cons from each of the curricula, and then they'll present it to the board, make a recommendation for the 26-27 school year. Okay. And that's concludes my report.
Thank you. Assistant Superintendent of Special Education and People Personnel.
Hello, everyone. So in our department, we are very excited about our Walmart donations this year. We got an excessive amount. We had 3 trips total, I believe, to bring stuff back here. So that's all been inventoried now. Thank you to Ms. Kirk, who did the inventorying of it. So we're working now with the Parent Center on how we can set up some events to get some of the clothes and some of the houseware stuff out to the community. And we also have big piles of stuff separated for school sites, all kinds of school supplies. So we're going to be working on getting those sent to your school sites sometime really soon. And other than that, we have 3 of our mental health therapists in a conference in Oregon this week. And they are learning from a very renowned therapist, Dr. Schultz. And they're super excited about that. And other than that, we're just working on completion of some of our state reports that are due.
Okay.
And that's it for me.
Thank you. Associate Superintendent of Human Resource, Leanne Hargis.
Good evening, everyone. We're continuing to fill our substitute pools, both classified and certificated. So we have a small pool to be approved on the agenda tonight, but we also have a number of openings. So it's kind of, this vicious circle. We get a little pool and then do interviews, and a number of those folks are hired in permanent positions. So we are always looking for especially those classified paraeducators, campus safety officers, custodians. There's a great need. And certificated, we happy to say that most days all of our teacher positions are filled. So, but we still have a number of people that are still, applying probably every week. We have at least one or two people. So that is good. Soon we're going to be putting together our calendar committee to start putting together the calendar for 26, 27, because we're already almost done with the first semester. So we need to kind of get on the ball there. And that is it for me.
Thank you. Ms. Barbara Kane, Superintendent.
Thank you. Okay, I just wanted to say that we, many of us were 24 total, just returned from the community school, the national conference in New York City. It was a great conference, in my opinion. What I loved about it, this time, I didn't go last year, but I did go 2 years ago. There were 4 of us 2 years ago who went. This year we were 24, so we had a lot of people representing classified, certificated management, and our associations both had representation there, and that was great to see. One of the things, though, comparing 2 years ago to this year, that was very, very apparent was the focus on academics. It was made very, very clear that you cannot have a community school without a focus on the academics in that school. So that was great to see. I had a chance, I coincidentally ended up on the same bus with Mr. Wright, and I couldn't have asked for a better situation, because I think it was a real I don't know, how do I say this? It was a real visible moment for him to see instructional leadership at its finest in this school. A school that was 22% students with special needs. You couldn't tell. Classrooms were just incredible. And what we saw, first grade and fifth grade classrooms, and what they were doing in there was unbelievable. So I was glad to see that. Yes, there was a focus on pantries, but also a focus on the academics for all the kids in these schools. So that was a plus for me. Very excited to hear, Jeremy, that we will be, and I think I also received something from RTA maybe today. Haven't had a chance to look it over yet, but hopefully soon we'll be negotiating with both associations. Looking forward to that. That's always a treat. And I want to just kind of mention Mr. Mike Tenich, who is our CTE coordinator. He's working really hard right now to meet a deadline. We are under design or in design phase for a new CTE building on the high school campus, which is if my memory serves me right, is 20,200 square feet. And so it's going to be a rather large building, new barn, new fences, new restroom outside for ag, just pretty much everything you can imagine. And we are, although the bond that was passed in 2024, November of 2024, provides us with money. We know that we also are gonna be needing that third elementary school very, very soon. So we are applying for CTE funding from the state, and he's working really hard because the deadline to push the button for that grant is December 1st, but it has to be first board approved on November 19th. So it's a lot of work, and I just think he's doing an outstanding job at that. And tomorrow I get to visit Roseman Elementary. Looking forward to being there in the morning with the cabinet and seeing all the great things happening at RES. And I will do the attendance. Yeah. Okay, this are attendance awards for October. And I want to say that we had a couple schools go up a little bit. If you remember last month, there was a significant decline in all schools. So we had a couple of the schools that went up a little bit in the month of October. Continue, please, pushing whatever events you have at your school so that kids and families understand the importance of them being in school. No, I'm gonna do Best Elementary. Okay, Best Attendance Elementary. Although this school dropped 1.20%, they ended up in the month of October with 93.95% attendance, West Park Elementary. Best Secondary School. This school dropped 0.57%, but still pretty good, with 93.14%, Tropico Middle School. And our most improved school went up 2.3%. Rare Earth. Congratulations. So congratulations to all three schools. It's wonderful.
Board member communication, Mr. Wright.
Like Ms. Gaines said, I had a great time in New York. It was very enlightening is what I would call, with the school that we went to and visited. I think if I was in first grade, my education during that time would have been purely different, and I probably could have excelled so much more. Even in the fifth grade, kids were talking about author's purpose, and that's just unheard of to me. When I was in fifth grade, they were having conversations, and really it was probably the best thing ever. Was even that 3 hours I spent in that school was it was pretty amazing. So other than that, committees and stuff like that, nothing really going on too much. Just continuing construction, and that's all I got.
Adrian?
Let's see. Well, first of all, good evening, everyone, and everyone joining us at home. I hope we are all trying to adjust to this new time. Thank you, Dr. Mendez, for having coffee because I could smell it over here, so it's waking me up. I do have a quick question. I asked about St. Teagics, right?
Mhm.
Does anybody have their badge on for St. Teagics?
Yes.
Okay, and so, nice. How do we feel about having to wear that or
I think it's a great safety measure for ensuring the safety of stakeholders on our campuses and on our district properties. I think it's money well spent.
Okay.
But I mean, that's just my take on it.
I would agree, honestly. It's pretty amazing.
I'm all for it.
like it gives the location on where support is needed, and also depending on like the level of support as well. If it's something minor or something more like something more that would require more help from like that.
That was it. I was just curious about that. Thank you all. Thank you all for your reports as well. I appreciate it.
Sunny.
Yay! All right, guys. Yeah, she's right. This time she's just kicking my butt. Obviously, I'm like, I'm ready for bed. But I was able to attend the conference in New York as well, the Fundamentals Community School Conference, and I go to all of them, and afterwards I just feel like so inspired to like just lead the charge and start a community garden. But I have like I want to say like a charge to you guys, or what I want you guys to, or what I would like to see from you guys, like within the next year, is from everyone, like every employee in our district, to know what a community school is. Because there's a lot of people that don't know. They're like, what's a community school? What is that? What does it have to do with us? So many things. And that's what I would like, everyone to know what a community school is. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I want you guys to find out. Or come and talk to me, and then we'll talk about it. Other than that, I'm tired, so Bob.
Okay, Lydia, I got a message from Lydia about Bluetooth for the gym. Reason why that was not put in is because if anybody here knows what SCIF is, it's basically a SCIF room in there. You can't get anything out. So we did get a quote in, and Lydia has that. Hopefully she'll get that through the system, and you'll be able to play Bluetooth through it. And the other is our football team's in the playoffs, so good luck to them Friday night. And they got a tough schedule, but when you get to playoffs, every game is a tough game. Other than that, I'm done.
Okay. And I just want to thank everybody for being here tonight. With that, any comments from the public?
None.
Consent items A through F. Does anyone have any questions?
Move that we accept.
Any advice from student board member? That means that you're good to go?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, wait. Who, we need a motion.
Bob motion,
motion.
Adrian second.
Second. Sorry, I didn't hear you. All in favor?
Aye.
Long day.
I know.
Initial public hearing pursuant to election code 10010A1 to receive public input regarding the compensation of prospective composition of proposed trustee areas. Ms. Gates.
Yes, and good evening. At this time, I would like to ask Mrs. Marguerite Leone, our special counsel, who is present with us via Zoom, to get us started and introduce Dr. Doug Johnson, who is going to be presenting to the board this evening. Are you good with that, Marguerite?
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Can you all hear me well enough?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, good evening, board members. Nice to see you again, and nice to see you, Superintendent Gaines. We're here for the first public hearing on a project to transition the district from its at-large election system into by trustee area election system. The first public hearing is meant to gather input on communities, neighborhoods, special areas in the district prior to drawing any plans. The professional that will walk us and help us through this project is Dr. Doug Johnson, who is with us tonight. Doug, he is the president of National Demographics Corporation. He's worked extensively in Kern County, so he knows unique characteristics of your communities, your rural areas, housing patterns, etc. He is also, needless to say, a demographic expert and an expert in the development of district-based elections and trustee area elections, having done over the last, 20 years, Doug, perhaps 20 different, hundreds, I'm just going to say hundreds of districtings, redistrictings, and transitions. So with that, I'd like to, Dr. Gaines, turn the floor over to Dr. Johnson.
So thank you, Marguerite, and it is also my pleasure to be with all of you. We actually are, we've been in business since 1979, and we are approaching 500 jurisdictions that we've worked with. So many of which we've worked with more than once. So we've been doing this a long time, and it is a pleasure to be doing it with you all now in this project. I'm going to, if I can, share my PowerPoint here, and I'll walk through some slides. There we go. Okay.
We have nothing.
First of all, oh, pardon me?
We don't have anything.
Can you see it?
Yeah, hold on a second, please.
Okay.
You have to go to the right to stop sharing. Now you should.
There you go.
Okay.
Can we make it bigger at all?
Okay, great. Thank you.
No, we can see them.
Appreciate the technical help. It's always a little tricky. First of all, at a 10,000 foot level, what we're talking about is simply how the board is elected. So this doesn't have any input on which school any student goes to or any of those issues. This is only for board elections. And so the system we have now is called an at-large system. There are a couple of kind of stragglers out there that still have a system called from district or residence districts where board members have to live in a district, but the election's still jurisdiction-wide. And those are slowly going away because under this California Voting Rights Act, they're treated just as another form of at-large election. So there's no protection from a lawsuit from one of those. So what we're transitioning to is a by-district system, or in the case of school districts, we call them by-trustee areas. And this is really what the law was written to encourage and kind of not so gently push jurisdictions into. I won't go through all the details of the law, but the law is basically based on the Federal Voting Rights Act, which has been around for 60 years now. But under the federal law, there are 4 tests you have to fail, a variety of tests. What happened in the California law is they eliminated 2 of those. And so now it's simply a statistical test. If the statistics show that the protected class group votes as a block, and if their allegedly preferred candidates don't win, then you're in violation. So all the rules about the protected class needing to be a certain size and the federal requirements that you show that race is somehow an issue in elections are gone. And it's just a statistical test. So it's made it much, much easier for plaintiffs to bring these challenges. And as Ms. Leone mentioned, we've been busy. We have not worked with all these jurisdictions, but by our count, and I'm sure we're missing some, there are at least 343 school districts that have made this transition since the California Voting Rights Act became law. Similarly, 46 community college districts, 209 cities, 78 special districts, and 1 county board of supervisors. And the reason it's only 1 is the other 57 were already by district when this law passed. So now all the counties are by district. And the reason isn't that these, hundreds of jurisdictions are violating anyone's rights or, doing anything wrong. The reason there's been such a huge swing is the financial cost of a challenge. And you can see so far in the bottom right, I know no one's ever won a challenge, so far at least. And then the settlements, jurisdictions that went to court, like Palmdale and Modesto, are paying out, 7 figures. Jurisdictions that may have never actually gotten to court, but ended up in court proceedings, are paying out, 6 figures, easy $500,000 and more. So that's why all the jurisdictions are following the process you're following of getting into the safe harbor before there's any litigation involved, and thus avoiding these huge settlements. So the process we're looking at today is the first of 2 initial hearings. As mentioned earlier, these will not involve any draft maps. These are to get input to identify what are the building blocks that we should use to build those maps. Then by November 21st, we'll post those maps, the initial draft maps. Then you have 2 hearings in December scheduled to discuss the draft maps. Keep in mind the draft maps that you see are really a kickoff point, and we're really looking for your feedback, and often they change through this 2 hearing process, with final adoption scheduled for January 14th. This is an unusual process, and the board's vote is not the final vote. After the board selects its preferred map, then we have to go to the County Committee on School District Organization. And they actually have the final say. So they'll hold a hearing and then vote on hopefully approving the map that the board has selected. So it is, under statute, it is a fairly extensive process that will go on for the next few months. In terms of how the maps are drawn, there are a couple of different sets of rules. So, and we have to follow all of them. So first, in the top left, you can see the federal laws, equal population. So there does have to be an equal number of people, and it's not registered voters or anything like that. It's people counted in the 2020 census. And that has to be essentially an equal number in each of the 5 trustee areas. Then we have to be sure we comply with the Federal Voting Rights Act, which has similar rules to what I mentioned before about how the lines are drawn, and avoid any racial gerrymandering. So race cannot be the predominant factor in how a map is drawn or why it's selected. And those things, Ms. Leone and NDC, we've worked together for 30 years now on ensuring maps comply with that. So all the draft maps we bring to you will comply with all of those. More recently, California has adopted its own extra criteria. So you see those in the middle. And these are in priority order. So number 1 is pretty straightforward. The trustee areas have to be contiguous. Can't take one piece of it over here in the west side, one piece in the east side, and not have them connected. The big one, and that tends to be the focus of drawing maps, is number 2. We need to avoid, and whenever possible, dividing any neighborhoods or communities of interest. And I'll come back to what is a community of interest later on. It's kind of a term of art in this process. After that, we have to avoid, as much as possible, dividing any cities or CDPs, census designated places. So you don't have any incorporated cities in your jurisdiction, but up north we have a little tiny piece of Mojave, CDP, and then of course you have the main place that we're all in and centered in with all the population, which does have to be divided. So under law, we have to minimize the number of splits, but there will, simply on the basis of population, have to be some splits. Then the 4th rule is to follow easily identifiable boundaries whenever possible. So that's major roads, rivers, things that make it easy for one voter to tell another voter where the boundary is. And then the 5th and final in this priority order list of California criteria is to be compact. So you don't have to be compact if it's important to have an odd shape to comply with one of the higher criteria. But all else being equal, we want to avoid bypassing one group of people to get to another group of people. So, and then California has an additional prohibition. You can see it, and it's the words right out of the statute in the top right here. But shall not adopt district boundaries for the purpose of favoring or discriminating against an incumbent, political candidate, or political party. And so that's why in this process, we won't be looking at where any board members live. We won't be looking at any political data through the drafting and selection of a map. Where board members do live does come in at the very end when we look at which seats will be up in which years. But we'll discuss that complicated piece when we get to it at the end of this process. Then, if you happen to have two maps that are equal on all of those statutory requirements, the federal and the state rules, you can look at what the courts have called other traditional redistricting principles, like looking at where future population growth is expected or other local considerations. But these days, it's pretty rare that we get down on those factors being the deciding factor. Usually it's the statutory criteria that make the decision. So that's the process and the rules. Looking at some of the numbers, in particular for the Voting Rights Act, the Federal Voting Rights Act compliance, you can see here we've got your key statistics. The jurisdiction's about 22,000 people. About 43% of your total population are Latino, about 38% white, and then a mix of other groups. The second category here, though, is even more important.